Hey, welcome. Nice to see you. So, responsive is the name of the game. And this has been for me one of the blockers in getting the Nuxt Image RC out. So, so hopefully we'll do it. Fanling, nice to see you. So basically the concept, I'm actually just going to stick this in here and pin it. So the concept here is that it would be quite useful to have a tailwind sized image, like the way that Nuxt Image works. So yes, I trust myself. So we have Nuxt Image here. Let's just install the dependencies. And what we want to be able to do, Milos, hello, and thank you. And yes, it's not Ethan, is it? Need more wood. I can't remember. Anyway, it's nice to see you. And Holidan, welcome. Alex, good to see you. Okay, so the right. So we have, I'm going to start with a test here. This is going to be the way to go. Oh, you're Zane. Ha! Yeah, no, I know you. Your black and white avatar. It's very impressive. It's nice. Okay, so where are we going? Right, we want some tests. And that's also how I'm going to describe what I want to achieve here. I find it helpful sometimes in just figuring out like what I'm trying to do is write a test first, and then that gets... Did you? Nice. That is potentially helpful. We'll prepare the repository so it has the types so we don't get red lines. Yeah, I know. There's something for it, right? There's some kind of sort of concept there. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Zane. Okay, so what we want to do is, yeah, this is fair. I'm just going to describe what I want. So it probably does make sense to have it here. We want to, I'll just fix that typo. Okay, what we want to do is basically, so if we're rendering an image like this, with these sizes, then what we want to be able to do is, for example, try this. Not interested in the config. Just finding the right place in the test suite to stick this thing. Okay, we're going to stick this, I think, at the top. Just in a separate thing for me to do. Okay, describe, we're going to say, we're only going to run this. We're going to say image with responsive sizes. And we're going to put in something here. And we're going to say that it should, hey, welcome. Good to see you, Joaquin. And R1 none. Welcome. Are you representing Cloudflare with your R1, or is it something else? So we're going to want to, okay. So it works with only one size. Generates correct min width source sets. Okay. I think those are probably some good starting points. So what we want to do is say that we have got, so say that we have, what are we working with? This mount image thing. Yeah, okay. And then we can assert that it matches a snapshot. So we'll do this here. We're going to say to start with, what we want to happen is if we pass a, okay, now these sizes, I think, let's pick some examples. Okay, and I'll just run this test suite. This test suite is running using Nuxt vtest. So it is a unit test, but it has a Nuxt environment around it. I see, fair enough. Okay, so we are going to want to just start this suite. Yeah, that's fine. vtest. Run test unit image. Oh, I don't want to run it. I want it to watch. Yeah, well, that's fine. I'm just going to stick this down here. Oops, no, I really... Why is that running everything? Do I need to give it a directory? Okay, that might be fine. Right, so what I want to be able to do is pass in here something like this. So I have Nuxt Image, and then I'll have maybe sizes is 100 VW. So that should basically always display the full width. And then if I want to do something like this, Nuxt Image sizes is medium 100 VW, like 50 VW, medium 100 VW. That should basically default to being half width on a small screen and 100 width on full screen. That's probably actually the wrong way around. We would probably do it like this. So full width on small screen, everything up to this medium, and then after medium it's going to be 50 and up. And basically this is not how the module works at the moment. So if we did it, it would be something like this. Let's see. What we want to do, oh, and we should probably just set this to update itself automatically so we can see the changes when we save them. And then we don't actually even have to look in the console. So what we want to do is if we had something like, so mount image sizes. Okay, so we basically have this props sizes. Sizes can be a number of different things. If we check the Nuxt Image documentation, you can see some examples of it. So basically, at the moment, we are able to do something like this. Small 100 width, medium 50 width, large 400 px. So let's just see. I'm not sure whether I can use that directly in the test or whether it's already meant to be normalized by this point, but I'll just quickly check. We'll just call this basic. Okay. So that's fine. So basically you can see what's happening. So we have got our small size, which is 640. And we should have a medium size, which is... Actually, this is a very good point. If we just... I guess we can probably directly put in some values. Say 768. 1024 and I don't know 1900. Then we should see those update, I think. Yeah. Did I just? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they did update. They just updated quite quickly. So it was 640, 1024. So basically at the moment, yeah, at the moment we don't have a sort of default size. If anything, the default size is the biggest one, which I don't think that's not how I think it works for a lot of us. Certainly a sort of the Tailwind default of being able to start with the mobile, start with the responsive size first, and then define everything up. So for a start, we want a max width, a min width rather. And the question is how breaking we want to be. So here's a question for you. What we could say is if we pass, so here in this case, what I would want to say is 100 VW. Because what we've got really here is, what we have here is, this is a small size up to define screen sizes. So we have our small size, which is 640. So by setting small 100 VW, we are effectively doing that with, this is up to small. And the problem is that large is meant to be up to large, but we actually convert it effectively into being no max width. So we effectively make it the default. But I'm not sure that's as intuitive as we could be. So effectively this should become 100 VW, medium 50 VW, and then large means large and above. So it's not up to, it's beyond. So something like that. And we could enable it if one of them doesn't have a screen size. Seem reasonable? Or we could just enable it by default. I think it might just be better to enable it by default. So you're getting me thinking aloud here. And if you do want to pitch in, please say. Because that would be quite helpful. Okay. So we probably therefore want this to, if I change it, what do we end up with? We end up with it falling down to the smallest possible size, which is 100 pixels, I guess. And medium is 768, so that becomes as we expect. We want min width, basically, and then we can take it all the way up. Okay, hello Rad, welcome. So here's what we've got in our test suite. We have our media query here, and we're adding our size variants. Now we already have a PR fixing one thing here, which I think I actually just need to go ahead and merge before making these changes. Thank you, Happy Fruit. Okay, so this basically makes generate sizes when there's only a single size provided. Okay. Thank you. That is nice. You can come again for sure. Okay, I'm going to just stash this change and pull it in before we. Okay. We're going to call it, okay, get stash pop. There we go. So what we want to do is this. So where were we? We were looking in Nuxt Image itself, and so we've got this size variant. Okay, so the way we're going to change our size variant is that we are going to need to, okay, I think finalize, or just finalize size variants. So we're basically, yeah. Yeah, I think we might be able to simplify this a little bit when we're making this change. Because at the moment, now, we would have this. Okay, so at the moment we basically have a basic sizes and source set being generated. That's 1 and 2 densities. I guess that's producing that. So if we had 200 VW, you'll see they increase in size, I guess. Interesting. If we basically make it 100 pixels at the smallest, you see the size is 100 pixels. Strange, that's a little strange. Okay, and what we want is to basically have medium at 200 pixels should this is correct. I think this is actually ending up being right, isn't it? Change those to VWs. Oh, right. That was just confusion. Okay, so this should be applied up to 768 instead. So what we want is to say it should be a max width. It could be a max width, I guess. And the max width should be the following size. Thank you, Red. That's very kind. Okay, so what we want to do here is, let's see if we can. Let's just see what our variants are. Pass sizes. So I'm just going to do a little stuff. Let's just do some logging. So I want to see some sizes, and I'll probably need to somehow restrict our test. Okay, so I want to see the sizes being logged, please. And I really only want that one test. Okay. I guess that will be fine. Okay, so we are passing it out. Yes, that's the problem. Okay, so I guess the first thing is that the so we could change this parsing. It might be the simplest thing to change the parsing to be that okay, so what are we doing? So this happens to be a string. We're splitting everything by spaces. We're splitting everything by, yeah, okay. So this is saying we have this convention that if we don't have a screen size, we default the screen size to the width, which is a I think probably not right. So what we probably could do in this case is say that we, in a sense, need to know what the next next one is. So let's try it like this. So what do I want? So what I want to say is so if we have another one, the problem is actually, I guess, that right. So what we want is if we are the if there is a higher so really the issue I think here is that we want to set a default. That is what we want to do. So we don't actually have to make this change that I've just made. We are going to make that later on. So what we're going to want to do instead is do something like sizes default is as trim. And so that should give us our default value and then medium and large. So that's all we need to do when we're passing them. And then where we use it, we only use it here, good. So what we're then going to do is say, what we would add is has this sorted them by now? No. Size variance, okay, they're sorted by this point and deduplicated. So I think probably what we would do at this point is add our default. Forgive me as I'm just thinking aloud here. So we want to, so at the moment, hey Ace, nice to see you. So at the moment this is probably failing. No, it still seems to be working. I guess we don't have this appearing at all because it's not a really valid size. It's default. So what we want to do is we've put the max width of, where does that come from? Max width. Surely it can't come from there. Where does it come from? Screen max width. From here. So basically we're creating this from, yeah, I see. Reaper, Foji. So min width and last one. Yes, Joaquin, you often have very, very good solutions for things like this. Okay, so we are sorting them. We're sorting them when we're finalizing them. So we should be able, in that case, to do something here, right? You're saying add it in there. So we have our size variance. So this is actually, we've already dropped it. And we don't want min width though, we want max width, because this isn't setting the default up, it's setting the default down. So so what we want, I think, is to be, okay, let's check out Uno CSS, always a good option. Interesting. So what we want to be able to do, I think, so given this, we want to produce sort of max width, medium, 100 VW, and then min width, medium, max width, large, 200 VW. I know this isn't technically, and then min width, large, 300 VW, right? That's the kind of logic we want. This should be the bottom, like everything down of medium, and this should be in between the two of them, and this should be large and up. That's how I'm thinking about it. Does that seem intuitive to people? This is a genuine question. Well, everything's a genuine question, but it is a genuine question. Yeah, we have the list. But yeah, but I'm just saying this should be intuitive, right? Like this should be what we're expecting. So the thing is, if we are able to sort our sizes, so what we want to do here is not remove media, but instead add min width, right? So this should be max width. Okay. We want instead this. So we want to basically say what's our screen max width? Min width, and it's not the this is the problem. So it's not really a max width at this point. We want to effectively change all the max widths, I guess, to min widths, right? That's what we're actually talking about. So I think, yeah, okay, I think that's probably a very good start. So we want to move all of these to screen min widths. Okay, and then what we do is basically say okay. This is obviously going to break everything, right? So we also change the types. Oops. Okay, so we now have, and we've not changed any of the logic, obviously, it's all still coming in as max width. So what we want instead for our size variance is to basically say, I guess, min width for a start. And then so we're now saying we want, and medium is, let's just confirm, medium is 768. $768 as well. Large should be 1024. I'm just putting these in so I have a sort of basis for expectation of what we should be getting here. So we are getting, this should be min width 768, that's right. And min width 1024, that's right, okay. So what we basically just need is the one that's missing. So we probably need to figure out, let's see. We basically need just to finalize this. Okay, so we have got, let's see. Okay, so all of these are irrelevant changes, I think. Except we're keeping this in. This is actually, right, this is fine. We probably don't even need to add this. This is already there. What we instead want to do is for the first one to put a max width. Okay, so basically we're going to try this the other way around. So we're going to say first variant. And for first size variant, set max width as next up. So we are going to say first variant is size variance, or we'll say first second variant. And basically if we have no, this is right. So we have default basically. Default has to be our first one. So at this point we might actually have been purged as being an invalid variant. So let's see. It is already purged by this point. So we have finalized size variance, which is being called here. And what we are doing is evidently, I think, probably purging it here. Is that right? Yes, because, let's see. Hey, good to see you. Okay, so we have, I'm diving deep into, okay, we've got default. So we're looking at each key and we're trying to get the size variant based on the key, and it's not going to be showing up. So we have our key and variant, and that's not going to be there. So we have our, variant is undefined. That's fine. So we specifically want to have a default value. This is probably too late to do it. Bruno, welcome. I will say, this is a far cry from Portugal right now. It is cold and raining. Okay. So, get sizes variant. What's this going to do? Okay, so basically, why is it coming in? It's coming in because we have no min width. So ideally, okay, if I think, that's what we do. So basically, if size is, it's effectively 0. Okay, it's 0, right? So we would say that, okay, rather than using this magic default option, we probably want instead to pick something like 30 degrees. Amazing. We probably want to pick something that lets us return 1 pixel. So if we said that, okay, I think we might just be able to do it this way. So we would say, let's get our pass sizes. Okay, we made it default. Instead, what we can do is say 1 pixel. That might actually work. Let's see what has that done. So okay, we've got our screen min width 1. Right. Okay. So I feel like in a sense we're slightly hacking this, but let's carry on. So we have our sizes variant. Right. Finalize. So if it's the first variant, and then what we effectively want to do is just set this as a max. That's not always going to work. So these widths are, I think what we could actually just do is pull in the, now the tricky here is the 1 pixel difference, right? Could we make it a calc? Is that even possible in here? Something like, so Joaquin, just a quick check. So you're saying that if we put the default last, that it won't override if we've got, like, we pick the first one that's, because I think it will just, we want it on the lower end, not the top end. Do you know what I mean? I might be wrong here in terms of, it might be worth a quick browser test. But effectively what we want to do, let's just pull up a quick stack blitz. What we want to do is this. Maybe even a code pen will be faster. That's what we want. And we have some kind of test. For goodness sake. Something like this. And we should probably use a placeholder image generator, that's fine. And what we want here is to be able to drop in some different sized images. actually, sorry, let's do that a different way. So we've got this pattern, so we'll just say, and we can drop that off. So that should show us the different sizes, and we want to be able to write this in such a way that it's clear. Okay, so let's copy this across into CodePen, and great. So this is a very, very quick little thing to show us what the browser is picking and why, hopefully. Oh, the browser, it's complaining. Oh, that's even better. I don't have to include the stuff around it. Okay, so we've got our image, and we see what things are being picked, and from our source set and from our sizes. So let's finish this. Okay. Okay. So this is our image tag, and we want to see what the best way is of achieving what we want. Right, I'm going to go for a very, very quick drink top up, and I'll be right back, and we'll pick up what we have. So pause for a second, and see you in 5 minutes. Okay, I promised that would be fast. Okay, so basically we have, we have some different sizes. And these, I think these image sizes are right? So the, these are not. Like, what is that? Let's just pull those off for a second. So we've got our sort of source set. We have some sizes, min width, min width, min width. And that's not bad, actually. Even if they all have min width. Is that bad? That might be fine, right? Would we want to, if we drop that off, that won't make a difference. Or do we just do this? Could we just do that? Is that valid? That seems fine, right? So basically what we would want to do is for our first and then the others just have min width. So that's fine because then they override nicely. We're not calculating pixels. So we would want to do something like that. So first variant media is empty, right? So that's what we want. So we're just basically going to say unset min width. That's fine, right? So Nuxt Image currently use RC, and soon it will just be Nuxt Image when it's released. It will just be Nuxt Image. Edge is the same as Edge channel for Nuxt. You get every commit as it is made. So that's obviously going to be a little bit more breaking. So yeah. And to answer what Nuxt Image is doing under the hood, when you generate a page, when you pre-render a page, if you're using IP, so Nuxt Image allows you to pick providers like Cloudinary or ImageX or whatever. And in that case, it's basically just a URL generator. You pass in, you set your provider and it generates the right URL so that provider will load an image for you. If you're using IPX, which is enabled by default, then that actually at runtime will transform the image into the size that it needs to be. If you're running Nuxt Generate, then it will do it at generate time and it will save it to your output folder. So it's done in advance, but it's still it transforms it for you. If you're generating and you don't generate all your pages, then you might have an issue because it might need a runtime transformation and you didn't do it in advance. That's the potential issue. So, okay, I think this might actually be pretty much as simple as it gets. This just switches everything to min rather than max. Defaults it at 0. Completely okay, so now we will have lots of things that update in our test suite. Everything basically. So as soon as I take this only out, right, so everything has changed. So what we should now have is 200px by default, min width 500, 500px, min width 900, 900px. Okay, now the question is if we need to change this behavior, because this is obviously quite breaking because it changes the format entirely. So should it be H2, yes, cache is something that it does do. In fact, there is currently something from IPX, which is quite exciting. So I would be following these PRs if I were you, where we are currently working on refactoring the cache and storage for IPX. So exactly for this purpose. But I mean, it is cached at the moment using different utilities like headers. But yeah, follow that PR for a start. There are a couple more coming, and expect it very soon. Okay, so this basically entirely changes everything. So we're sort of 300 becomes the default size, and then at 3. Right. Do we want a default? As in, this had we could keep it at max width. We could keep it at max width. And we basically would drop out. I think if we kept it at max width rather than making it min, then we would it would be less of a breaking change for people. I think it might still do the same thing. So what we would want to say is max. We could start at max width, and then we just drop the final one. So the output would be very similar. We would just treat the first one differently. So something like this instead. Would we still have a max width? The max width would all need to be passed on. Okay, let's try this then. So if we're going to do it this way, then we have screen min width, and I think we can actually can I just rename it like this? Back again. Then we have now everything is back to max width, I think. So we have, maybe not. Okay, so we have our max widths, but what we need to figure out is we shouldn't have media. Bonky, hello. I am not aware of a pending PR for image proxy, so this might be just if there is a provider that's ready to go, I'll be very up for merging it. But some of the, let's see, so we have image proxy. This PR is not for the current Nuxt Image module. This is for version 0. This is for the Nuxt 2 module. So the reason that this is pending is that it's not for Nuxt 3. So it's on the wrong branch. So if someone can remake that module, so all of these ones which are marked as V0 are not, Ponky, make it. So the code is there. I probably just need to comment on these to ping people because the code is there, but it's just, it needs to be refactored onto the current branch. So, and then it would be great. So I'd be very happy for that. Tom, hello, welcome. Good to see you. So, okay, so just undone most of these changes. So I've moved it back to max width. So effectively what we want to do is pull this into the preceding one and to drop the last one. Okay, so let's just try leaving that unchanged, and try leaving this unchanged. Okay, so I'm undoing everything that I did so far. And what we now want to do is, when we're finalizing, we basically need to swap all of the media queries onto the next lowest one down. If that's not totally wrong. So what we would end up doing is I guess we would do it here. I guess we could even do it at this point. So what we want to do is just swap them in. And we don't particularly care about this right now. So we would say, so we've deduplicated them, and we then want to map them. So, okay, the thing to do, I guess, is the only thing I'm wary of is the splicing. Okay, let's just iterate over it again. Probably not the best solution. I'll think about that in a second. Okay, so iterating it over again, we basically want to pull in the next one. So if size variance I+1, then, so next variant is this. And so if that exists, then we are simply going to modify this one. So size variance I. Wait a second, this is going down. Okay. Do we want to do that? I don't think so. Oops. Okay. So we basically want to set the value to, what is it, media? And we want, and if there is none, we are going to empty it out. Okay, so what's that going to do for us? Okay, that is looking better, but it is breaking everything naturally, because it is in the same way as now it's effectively ticking up to the next screen rather than down to the current screen. So it's a question of whether this is, whether we think this is a good approach. I think maybe it should only do this for the basic one. Yeah, sorry to be vacillating here, but I think basically that is what we want. So we only want to set the max width. Okay, so here's a question. What would we do here if we had max widths? So at this point, what if we just said yeah, then it would have to totally be min width. So if we made it max width as we've been doing, and in this case said 768 pixels, in this case said 1024, and then the final one is just left untouched, like that. Then where is this coming from? Where's the 4000 by 4000 coming in? Interesting. Oh, I think it's probably just coming in at the closest one. So let's try. It's different. If I changed my wallpaper or browser theme, the browser theme should not be any different. The wallpaper I did change back to the old OS X browser theme. Oh, like wallpaper. Not OS X. The old. Yeah. Oh, sorry, what did you say, Punky? You said you really need image proxy. I think that was the last thing I heard you say. So, okay, so what we're doing at the moment is, this might be the best. The only thing is when the first one has a size. It just means we haven't provided a default, right? So it becomes the default. And then whatever the top one is the upper range. Okay, I think it makes sense. Do people think this makes sense? So I think actually we don't need separate tests. I think this is just clear. We maybe need to add a test for one with no other sizes. So what do we have here? 200, 500, 500. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. A single size entry here. got some more unit tests that are clearly need to be updated. These 2Bs should just be to match inline snapshot, I think. Cool. Okay. Would backticks not be better than escaped quotes? Maybe. But I mean, this is vtest's inline snapshot format. But anything that would make it more readable is definitely up for me. Like, I would be up for that if you think you can implement that. Okay, so let's just say feet switch default to responsive first sizes. I'm going to need to think about this a little bit more, which is why I'm totally going to push it up, and we can talk and think about that a little bit further. So we'll try this. Oops, why not push this? Yeah, there we go. The current gap between the window and the edge of my screen, it is by hand, I'm afraid. I do use snap. No, I use rectangle to save it as a preset. So I can if for example I'm on another screen and somewhere else on my screen, and I have my browser over there, then I can just hit a single key and it goes into the right place, which is very nice. And I have other places on my screen where I can throw windows based on wanting to see them. So it's very good. And also get Rectangle Pro. It's like €7 or something, and it supports the dev who made it. So it's, yeah. So sizes without an explicit width, e.g. sizes equals 100 VW, are interpreted as 1px 100 VW as a minimum size, e.g. 2, source set, the output source set is based on sizes are output from that screen size up rather than that screen size down. So sizes equals medium 100 pixels, large 200 pixels means that up to the large screen size, the image is displayed at 100 pixels, and above large at 200 pixels. As these are both breaking changes from previous behavior, special care is requested in evaluating the API and DX. Okay, so that is the that is a change. And if you want to, if anyone here actually has feedback or thinks this is maybe not the right approach, there are a couple of different ways we could do things. So feedback is very welcome. Okay, there might be some other things. So I've got a little bit more time. We could do something else. Tell me, what is... So the concept, okay, yeah, thank you. Basically the concept is that think tailwind. So tailwind, if you say something like medium, it is medium up. Like, so medium font bold equals that width and above should be that that should apply. Well, good news, Foji. That is already, I made that earlier today. And so we have this pull request that you can have a look at here. No problem. Anything else that someone is wanting or feeling should really exist, or a bug report or a thing that we should totally solve? Any other requests are also welcome. So, sorry, let me pull open the... So I get your Q&T Fox. Tea break is not a bad idea. Okay, but first, let me answer this. So you're suggesting... So here, yes, that is correct. The size would be 200px at large or above. But up to it, it's 100px. And large and above, it's 200px. Right? Have I explained that badly? But it sounds like that is what you're expecting. Yeah, it's the sentence. Okay, so let's make that clearer. So means that let's see, means that the image is displayed at 100px by default, and at large and above at 200px. Is that clearer? Okay. So previously, I'll put that down. Previously, this meant that it was displayed at 100px only up to medium, and then displayed at 200px for all sizes above that. Which I think is less intuitive in terms of what, well, I mean, like they're equal, but I think this is more intuitive in terms of the, like how we are writing these kind of responsive classes. And it doesn't help that the colon is sort of like tailwind syntax, and so you feel like it should be the same. So, Nuxt UI, but for CSS. Okay. You're being serious. I look like Mark Zuckerberg. Like Mark Zuckerberg. What is going on? I'm so confused. iFox. Ah, brilliant. It is nice to see you on stream. And I didn't realize that. So that's very, very cool. Oh, well. Well, great. So, let's see. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to do all of this as much as we can, but we're going to take a very, very quick tea break. So, tea, 5 minutes, come back, and I will directly engage with this claim that I look like Mark Zuckerberg, which is obviously top of my mind right now. We'll also do a couple of these other things. So look at SSR errors, and maybe also review the CSS thing. So let's do that in a second. This does look, yeah, I totally agree about the color scheme. It is beautiful. Okay. Cannot unsee. Please tell me that isn't, what is going on? Okay, so I'm going to go. I'm going to stop this, and yeah, let's resume in 5 minutes. I am back. Okay. Oh dear. There are comments. Mark Zuckerberg is being mentioned. Well, I will not complain about this. Thank you, R1 Nun. You are definitely allowed. Okay, excellent. This is the right kind of direction of conversation to go. Henry Cavill, I will accept that. He is a total legend. Okay, so where are we? Una UI is beautiful. This is genuinely lovely. Okay, I want to see them. You probably wanted a review of the actual code. Okay, Una UI is an Uno CSS atomic. Okay, it's powered by Uno CSS. It's atomic UI framework. Okay, let's see some of the components that exist. Cool. So I wonder what the code looks like. So we've got some packages. We have some. Okay, there's a Nuxt project. Nuxt. Of course, they're not necessarily going to be. Okay, so the accordion here is, okay, so it's using headless UI. It's using Views core. We have a template. Cool. And it's something like, oops, what's going on? My web browser has just gone very slow. I don't blame the site though. So we got icon. This looks very promising. Does this use Nuxt icon under the hood? Ah. I think there's something. Not entirely working as we expect. Is that how they're related? Open Chromium? What do you mean? You mean not Arc? The lag might not be any issue. Like it might just be my computer. I do find that this happens sometimes, that people will spot an issue that I commented on, and I have to find out whether I was right or wrong, and because there's no guarantee in any way. Okay, so, oh, this is not your bug, and it's not the bug of UStick UI. Like, this is an issue with the new Nuxt CLI, and it needs to be, I think, okay, this is a good point. Let's solve this bug, okay. So, basically, so this is a bug in Nuxt. Oh, come on. Flaky CI. So this is a bug in Nuxt, and I need to figure out whether it's caused by the new writing of types and the way we do that, or whether it's caused upstream by Nitro, or whether it's caused by CLI. But either way, it is a very, very annoying bug. And it's not the fault of your module. It is nor the fault of the UStick UI module. I just happened to make an improvement, which also resolved it in that particular case. But so okay, let's have a look. So if we have a Nuxt, okay, great. We've got a reproduction, which is good. I'm gonna have to, yeah. Don't boot the web container. I just want the files. I want the files. My computer can't handle this. Okay. Oh, this is a UStick UI one. Oh, for goodness. I always, when I see a package JSON that full for a, right. Thank you, Punky. See you later. I never got your question, I think. Message me in a different way. I'll happily answer it. Okay, let's not do this. The best way to contact me. You can go to my website. You can contact me on Twitter. My DMs are open. On my website, you should be able to find my email and other. So it's https://row.dev. Discord is also really good. I'm Daniel Rowe there. I genuinely have every possible communication avenue open. So I think you should be good. Okay, so this is a shame because we don't have a reproduction link. What I would like to see, okay, let's just see if we can reproduce it somehow. Andre, I'm sorry about that. What a shame. I saw you raise that issue, and I don't entirely. Have you tried the local preview in .website rather than the one on Nuxt itself? I'm very much looking forward to this PR, by the way. So basically, if this live preview isn't working, it's probably an issue with Studio, which we can report. But let's have a quick look. And what's the page? Come on, okay. So where are we looking for? Docs. Where is it? API Nuxt. Okay. API. That's a little weird. Morning, Brocard. Where are you based? Not where I am, where it is 5 o'clock in the evening. You must be West Coast of the US? Okay. Interesting. I wonder, maybe this is somehow related to the code, like to the markdown. Mexico, wonderful. One of the happiest, like the loveliest holidays I have ever been on in my life was in Mexico. It was just amazing. I wonder if Chile. This is just great. Like, look at this. This is amazing. I might have to check this locally. But I mean, goodness me, look at this. Look at that! Look at that, people! Isn't that incredible? That is 2,300 lines of code, of documentation, pure documentation. That's just incredible. I'm sorry, I'm not sure about why the Nuxt Studio thing is throwing that error. But yeah, we should figure that out. But I don't, it'll be a, yeah. Okay. Right. Generating types in CI, and Nuxt Mongoose is an example. I actually have this also on my own website. So like I'm not using this. So why? Okay, let's just see if we can replicate with Nuxt Mongoose. What do you mean, Brocard? I missed the point about your house. A house there. Okay, we're going to add a module. Just add Nuxt Mongoose, see if that can replicate it for us. Ah, really? That is very kind. Okay, well, I will remember that. Okay, that is actually working. So there's also this suggestion that it's something to do with pre-render roots, maybe. Oops. Let's see if we can replicate that. I don't. Thank you, Brooker. Okay, if you can raise reproduction, that would be very good. That would be, yeah, very, very helpful. I would also be very. I'll try this again. It's going to slow me down. So if I hang, that will be why. Okay, so this simply had, I think, we'll copy everything, but I think most of this is irrelevant. I think it's just the viewstick Nuxt. And I don't think the bug is with viewstick Nuxt. So I think we'll try and use this to let's just see if we can replicate with the previous version, which did have the issue. Okay, and it was, which one? I'll just say it's 1. Okay, we'll try just 1.0.0 and reinstall. Yeah, oh, it's struggling because of stack bits, so die. Okay. Hopefully it's a little bit better. Is it any better? I am going to get like a little Mac Mini or something so that I'm not powering this from my laptop. But I just need to decide on the specification because I don't want to overspend on a computer. Like it doesn't need to be much. Like it doesn't have to be a fast computer. It just has to be able to cope with the graphics of the stream. So yeah, if you have anyone has any recommendations, I will take them. That's interesting. Clearly, we need a slightly newer version of viewstick UI. Okay, unpackage viewstick UI Nuxt, was it? Viewstick Nuxt. Okay, so we had 14, maybe? I should actually just check the... Oh, it's working. I mean, it's hanging, right? Okay, so that is what we want. Okay, so let's see if we can, and can I replicate that again? Yeah, I can. Okay, and it is triggered by the watcher, because that's how we fixed it. Let's install an old version of Nuxt. Okay, so we're going to add not 3.73. Actually, let's try the latest version of Nuxt, because we actually do have a newer version. So let's say 3.8.3, I think, is the latest version of Nuxt, and we'll just pop that in our resolutions. I'll try that, because this might be resolved. That would be an interesting thing. Okay, it doesn't resolve it. Let's see if we can revert back to 3.6.5. See if that resolves it. It does. Okay, so it is a regression in Nuxt itself. So that's good. Let's move that across here to a CLI. That doesn't mean I'm not going to look at it. I want to solve it, but it is not a Nuxt issue itself. It's the CLI. It's a CLI issue. Okay, so why would this be so? Okay, so we're going to revert that back to whatever it was before. Oh no, we'll revert it to the latest. We'll say 3.8.3, just so we're testing the current version. So it's doing that. So let's do what I always do. So let's open Nuxt. We're going to pull open the chunk, which is going to be prepare, and let's see if we can figure out what is causing the hang. It'll be something like we're waiting for our process to finish, I think. So if we let's see. So basically, if we, let's just see how much of this is, if I get rid of the writing of the types, is that triggered? Interesting. Okay, so when that is in, no, that works. No, why would the consular be a thing? It isn't. Okay, I'm confused. I thought a moment ago. Oh, we have to prepare the playground, right? Okay, yeah, that's. Wait a second. This is probably the clue, right? Why are we enabling experimental payload extraction. Okay, why is static true? Wait, is that being explicitly enabled? It is actually. Okay, let's just see if we can reproduce without these. Yeah, this is irrelevant. Okay. Okay. I bet. Okay, that's again, we're just narrowing this down. Sorry, this might be boring. Let's pull out writing types. So we're not going to actually write them. We're just going to build Nuxt. Okay, that's not the issue. Let's drop the build Nuxt bit. Surely that must be it, right? Surely nothing. Interesting. Okay, so it's not that. What about the build directory? Okay, it's not that. It's almost certainly this loading of Nuxt then. So without that, surely, yeah, nothing can happen, right? But just to check. Yeah, okay. So something about loading Nuxt, this whole process, nothing to do with the writing of types, but just loading of Nuxt, is causing us to okay, let's just log it. Honestly, I find it, that is what I find it like. Okay. So I want to check to make sure this is the node URL. This is presumably Jitty transformed. I just want to check that I'm still in the repo and I can actually use this. So if I open up load Nuxt, so like the actual one in my repository, we will pull in. Oh right, there is a load Nuxt within Nuxty itself, but presumably this is the actual version in this monorepo, as in it should respect it. So let's just confirm that. Yeah, good. Okay, so it's working fine. So we are in fact doing something here. So we know that load Nuxt exported by Nuxt is what is being called. And so something here is not working. Interesting. And I'm guessing it's watcher related. That's what we're guessing. But it might not be. Let's just, going on that pure guess, I wonder if there's somewhere we're actually watching something, even though we shouldn't be. So is it possible? Let's just check. It's probably not this. Like probably we need to close out the process when Nuxt close is called, something like that. In fact, let's just try that. Let's see if we can make that happen. So let's just say hooks Actually, even easier, we'll just add debug. We already basically log all hooks automatically when we're debugging, so you can see exactly what happens. Nuxt is ready. Interesting. I wonder if we have to call Nuxt close. So maybe try Tom, you are tweaking me, but you know Nuxt runs on bun. Oh, you mean for our monorepo? That is very tempting, actually. That's actually very tempting. I wonder what the speed difference would be. Should we find out? Like the Nuxt monorepo in bun. We could do that. I think we could do that. Okay, so bun workspace support is we basically need a workspaces key in package.json. I'm sorry, I'm being very distracted. So this is very straightforward. Okay, so what we would do is the tweet from Evan where he says that bun and Vite are complementary, not rivals. Okay, so it's not this close thing. Could it be nitro? No. Why would it not close? I almost have prefer offline enabled by default in my pnpm config. Oh yes, no, I did see Evan's point about that. I mean, I think bun is great. I think pnpm is great. I don't think these are. I think they're all pushing us in the right direction. Okay. You want hosted Lagon runtime more than anything else, surely. That's okay. So what are we doing? Yeah, but you want hosted. So it's not about, what if it is, it probably is about time for me to wrap up stream. And yes, no, it's true. Like, you always have to be careful of benchmarks. I feel like, I don't feel like the Bun team are being negative in their benchmarks, though. Although it must be very frustrating if you're part of the Node team. But yes, take with a pinch of salt, I'm sure. It is very fast, though. Let's see. Okay, so it's something to do with load Nuxt. Why would that be? Is it something to do with the environment this is being run in? So what? Okay, that can't be right. Okay. Oops. Let's just quickly fix this. Does Vercel support Bun now? Because when I last tried, it didn't work as a package manager. On Vercel, I tested it. I'd be delighted if it does. But okay. Okay, that would be hilarious if that was at all possibly related. Let's see. No, it's not. But it is a bug, so we can fix that. So I'm not talking about Nuxt. I don't think Vercel support Bun on. So Nuxt. So Bun does work fine with Nuxt, but as a package manager as well as a runner. But Vercel don't support Bun when you're deploying your package. If you have a project and you're using Bun as a package manager and you deploy it, it will install your dependencies with Yarn. It will not use Bun, which is strange to me, because yes, they support the Bun package manager when using Nuxt, but not on Vercel. So I'm sure that's only a matter of time until that changes. But at the moment, I don't believe it. It works even with Nuxt on Vercel. I would be I'm delighted if that were not the case, but when I tested it, it didn't work. Okay, so what am I looking for? Nuxt CLI. And I really want this to be a PR because I have reasons. Oh, that would be great. There is an open issue if you are interested. Oh, right. I said I need to disappear because I very strongly suspect that I must go. But I think this is a very interesting. This is a very weird, weird. Issue. So, okay, I think this might be the most helpful way to, I'm very confused. Okay, so Nuxty. Right, maybe that was it. Basically, we removed the native Nuxt. No, not this one. We removed Nuxt CLI from like Nuxy from the mono repo, and we switched to this a different repo. And they were meant to be on par, but it looks like there was a bug. And so one way to detect it is to just compare the code at the time when we switched it across. So we should be able to interesting. This is really not the PR that I'm looking for. Maybe it's called something like Nuxt CLI rather than Nuxy. Yeah, there we go. Seconds is ridiculous. It shouldn't be the case. Okay, so we had prepare. And prepare did this. Okay, let's make this super simple. We'll drop the overrides, we'll drop log level, and we'll just run this again. Oh, wait. Let's just try that. Okay. This is very weird. I bet it's something to do, though, with the run command of Kitty. That's my guess now. Okay, so if we were to pull open our entry point for Nuxy, and we have run main, And our run main, what is it going to do? It is going to run command. And if we change that and we just did this, what is that doing? Is it the cleanup, I wonder? Okay, let's undo that in a second. Let's go there and basically say this should do nothing. It should just instantly, and yeah, okay. I'm going to run it. Okay. Okay, so it's not the cleanup. It is the command being run. Right, all right, I can't get into this. I have to go. Thank you for joining. It has been a lot of fun. And we should definitely do this again sometime. So I actually have a couple of exciting ideas for later this week. So there might be something very cool coming, but I will let you know. For now, how about we go raid ending with Ali, who's quite a good dev, and she had a podcast which I was really sorry was cancelled. So let's go raid her. But anyway, it's been a great stream. Thank you very much, and yeah, see you all later.